Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to just walk you guys through the basics of HTML, try to understand what is HTML and how are you going to work with VS Code. Okay, so in terms of the basics of HTML, I will try my best to explain so that we can all understand what is happening, right? So we have a website. Let's just open any website. Okay, so let's take this Google website here. You see, so this on its own, it's a website. It is made using HTML. So HTML is for structuring. Ne? So this right here, this name Google, okay, it is a heading. It is a heading made from HTML. These buttons here, this thing right here, it's a button made in HTML. Okay, as you can see, when I'm hovering above these things, these are all buttons. You know? Everything you see here, it's HTML mixed with CSS. So HTML is for structuring the page. Okay, so we have a paragraph here, we have an input box here, we have buttons down below, we have more buttons, or these are what we call tags. Okay, so these are the tags, and you have some icons, you know. So these are made using HTML. So let me see if I can get a pen or paper here. Okay, so right. So let's say this is your screen, eh? Whether it's your phone or it's your laptop, whatever it is, and you want a paragraph. You want a paragraph here. So this will be Google. Let's use the Google example. So this is a paragraph, né? And then we have that small input here. So the paragraph is there, and this is what we call an input. And we have some more smaller buttons here. Okay. So we have a button here, and we have another button here. Oops, my bad. Okay. So these are all buttons. Okay. So you can see, you can do this. You can recreate this whole thing using HTML, given this sort of example that I was trying to show here. So these are all called elements. So these are all called elements in our HTML code. Okay. So first things first, you will need something to write this code. Okay. So it's preferable to use VS Code because it's much more lighter. It's light, so meaning it can run faster on any computer. Or you can use Notepad. So everyone has Notepad in their computer. If you're struggling to download VS Code, you can use Notepad. So for those using a phone, it's the same principle. It's the same principle, just that you are going to do this in a phone. Okay, so it's the same HTML structuring, it's the same CSS that you're going to write, but the difference is you're going to write it in a phone. But don't panic about what you use. There's different IDEs. Okay, so we're calling those things that you use to write your code, we call them IDE. So there's different one. There's VS, there is Atom, PyCharm. So there's a lot of these. There's Visual Code, there's Visual Studio Code. So you can just choose anyone that you feel comfortable with. But Visual Studio Code is the popular one. It's the most popular one to use. So you can just, if you go to www.Visual Studio Code, it will take you directly to this link. Okay, when you get here, you can just click download for Windows. Okay, but also before you can even do anything, we can just take a look at this entire website. Okay, you can see that we have a logo here. This is a logo for VS Code. Let me just zoom in. So this right here is a logo, okay, and this is a heading, okay, and this is a document, updates, blah blah blah. So these are all anchor tags. Anchor tags is something that will link to another web page or another element, okay. And we have icons, and we have search input, we have a button to download, and we have a big heading here. We have a button again, we have another button, we have more anchor tags, we have a whole image window here. So this is just an image. We have a small button, we have more paragraphs, so these are all paragraphs with images. So you can see that the entire thing is made up of HTML. Okay, so you can just click on download for Windows, and you can just get the direct download link and just follow the instructions. Don't overthink it, just click next, and you will end up in a screen. Okay, you'll end up in this screen right here. So once you get to this screen, so this is where you're going to work. This is your playground, essentially. What you need is you can go to the extensions right here. So this is the extensions. You can click there, and what you're going to look for is you're going to search for live server. Okay, so the live server is going to help you. Okay, so it's this one here. I already downloaded. Okay, so just click on it, click install, it'll install. So what this will do is it'll launch a local server. So when you run your code, you'll be able to see it live. When you change any code, you can be able to see it change at the same time. So just get that for now. It's going to be fine. And okay, that's good. So what you do is now I lost that. Oh, it's closed. Okay, it's fine. So now that you're here, when you click on file, you can go to new text file, click on new text file, and you will get this. Okay, so to save your work, okay, it's important that you always save your work. So if you want to save, you must always click on Control S. Okay, so it's Control S. I'm sure there is a save. Okay, when you click on file, you'll also see there's a save here. So click on save, and it will pop up. It will show you a pop-up, and under the file name, you can just change it to index or any name that you want. Okay, let me just call it HTML FNB. The most important part here is the extension. Okay, so it must be dot. Okay, dot HTML to state that, okay, this is a HTML file. So this is an HTML document. This is the most important part, and hit save, and you will see that it will change and look something like this. Okay, so it's an HTML document. So once you get this, once you have this, so this is where you are going to be able to write your code. Okay, so this is where you're going to work. This is your playground, essentially. Okay, so we're going to start to write some HTML here, and I'll explain it to you what it is. Okay, let me just write it down. So we have a doc type. Okay, we have a doc type HTML. Right. So what does this even mean? So this means that we're going to work on a document. Okay, the type of document is an HTML document. This is basically what it means. Okay, and we also have something called HTML itself. Now, as you can see here, what happened is we have this part HTML. Okay, so it's open brackets and close brackets HTML, right? So this is what we call tags. This is what we call a tag. So you cannot have a tag that is not closed. So it should always close. When you do this, when you use a / and you write again the HTML, okay, you are closing the HTML. So meaning you can have code inside this. It must be inside these two tags, okay? So this means that your code that you're writing, it should be a HTML code, okay? So again, this means that this is an HTML document, and this is where you're going to write your HTML code. So your code will be written inside this HTML tags. Okay. So another thing that we can have this, but it's going to be inside our HTML, is something called a head. Okay. So this is something that's happening inside our HTML. So we have a head, or something that is going to be having a lot of things like your title, so that we can see what document it is that you are currently working on. Okay, so we can keep that closed for now. And the most important one is the body. Okay, so the body is everything that has to do with the body of your page. Okay, so I'll explain this in details as we go along, because I understand for now it might be a bit confusing as to of what it is that I'm actually talking about. But if you have this, so this is just the basic structuring of an HTML document. Okay, now let's get to the lessons that we have to understand and that we need to do in our lessons of FNP, right? So I saw that we're going to learn about paragraphs, about anchor links, about how to start an HTML document. Okay, so I've already explained how to make an HTML document. Now let's talk more about the paragraphs. So what is a paragraph? Okay, what is a paragraph? So a paragraph, we all understand what a paragraph is, but how do we write it in terms of HTML? So you can open a tag called P. Okay, so this P stands for a paragraph. Okay, as you can see here, the P element represents a paragraph. So this, when you close this, whatever it is that you write inside here will display as a paragraph. Okay, let me show you. If you right click on your mouse and you hit show preview, it'll show here on the side. Everything that you're doing here, it'll display this side. Okay, so right here, this is a paragraph, and you can see whatever it is that I input here, it's showing on my preview. So the preview is what a user is going to see, what a user is going to understand, what a user is going to see, or everything that you're doing right now is going to display right here on this HTML document. So this is a paragraph. You can write anything what can we say? This is a P. Okay, this is a paragraph. Okay, you can write anything that you want right here. So in simple words, in simple terms, a paragraph is something that you use to display text. Okay, and there's not much you can do with paragraphs besides this. Okay, it's not like working with headings. Okay, so there's a paragraph and there's a heading. Okay, so we start from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Okay, so we have 6 different headings right here. So we can start with H1, and you can call it heading 1. And we can have heading 2 here, call it heading 2. Okay, and we have heading 3. Can call it heading 3. Heading 4, call it heading 4. We have heading 5, call it heading 5. And we have heading 6. So as you can understand, or as you can see for yourself, heading 1 is the largest heading. Okay, so heading 1 is mainly used at the beginning of the web page. Okay, such as the example we saw before about the Google one. Okay, it's mainly used on the top of the web page. You will see it written in big words: Google, Facebook. Okay, so heading 1. So this is the heading 1 here, and heading 2 is slightly smaller, okay, than heading 1. So this is for your subheadings. And heading 3 is smaller than heading 2. So if you want the biggest one, you start with heading 1, and smallest one is heading 6. Okay, so these are your headings. Now I want us to take a look at anchor tags. So this, once you hit A, okay, you will see that the element has an href attribute. Okay, so what does href mean? It means it's a referral. You are referring to something else, or you are linking something to something else. So this will represent a hyperlink. Okay, it's a link. This is how you link something. This is how you link. If we want to go from this page here, we want to go to Google, we can use the A tag right here. Okay, so you just write A, just like that. So this is the anchor tag. Okay, you can write href. So your referral, you're going to put it here. If you want it to take you directly to Google, you can put Google's link here. Let me show you. Okay, you can just paste here your google.com. Okay, and here we can just call it, Google. So here, as you can see, it turned blue. So this is a link. So when you click this, it should take us to Google. Okay, let's see. When you click this, it took us out of VS Code and straight to Google. And you can try this yourself, and you can see, just play around with it, play around with the href. Okay, so you can put in website addresses here, like I did. okay, www.google, or your Facebook address, or your TikTok, or whatever it is that you want to link here. So this is a link, essentially. And basically, this is how you get started with HTML. There's more. You can have a button, like I showed you. So this will represent a button. Okay. So this will represent a button, and this button, we can call it enter. Let me see. Try to refresh my page. Okay. So as you can see here, we have a button named enter. Okay. So we have a button. Okay. So this button here, you can do anything with. You can click it. Okay. But of course, we're not doing anything with JavaScript as yet, because we'll use JavaScript to be able to interact with these elements. Okay. So essentially, this is the basics of HTML. So imagine what you can do with these elements. Okay. We can have a h1 here, h1 of Google, and we can have an input. We can have an input right here. Okay. And we can have buttons. Okay. Is this not what the basics of Google looks like? Okay. So this is HTML, guys. This is HTML at its basics. Okay. So this is the basics of HTML. I will be trying to see what I can do for those who are using the phones. I'll see what I can do to try and explain how you can